Hello, good day to one and all. This is Miss A. Krishna Sundar, Assistant Professor, Department of English, KAHM Unity Women's College, Manjeri. We have already discussed one of the most popular essays written by E.V. Lucas, which is titled as Bows. Two sessions were already done based on a detailed line-by-line analysis of the entire text, including all the 10 paragraphs. So here we go with the discussion of questions and answers related to the text. So here comes the one word or one sentence answers. Question number 1. Why are bows as a rule always bows? Bows are always bows as they strongly believe that what interests them would interest others too. They often fail to realize the boredom of the listeners. Question number 2. What, according to E.V. Lucas, is a foundation stone of bows? The answer is egotism, which means self-centeredness. Question number 3. How do bows manage to get an audience? It is because of the kindness in human nature that bows always manage to get an audience. In one of the paragraphs, if you remember, we have already discussed how this human kindness can work. It is because of this human kindness that people are not openly telling these bows that they are bows. So I'm just giving you this additional information for you to understand, to make you remember what we have discussed. And that doesn't mean that you have to incorporate all these elements in the answers. Since it is a one sentence answer, you just need to write one single sentence. That is enough. Question number 4. Punch is a dash magazine. It's a humor magazine, and the answer is there in the introductory part. Question number 5. What is the best armor plate against the bows? E.V. Lucas suggests that thinking truthfully aloud is the best armor plate against the bows. Next is answer in a sentence or two. Question number 1. Why does Lucas say that everybody is a bow at some time? Anyone who has a fixed, constant idea can be a bow is what E.V. Lucas suggests. In one of the paragraphs, E.V. Lucas adds the fact that all of us would be having certain experiences or memories in our mind. And sometimes we keep speaking about these memories or experiences. It can be good memories or it can be bad memories, but still we will have a tendency to speak about those things. And when you keep repeating these stories, even you become a bow without your knowledge. Question number 2. Why is Lucas Peer described as eccentric? He is described as eccentric as he thinks aloud and says that the other person is a boring person, but at the same time invites him for the dinner finally. Question number 3. Why, according to Lucas, are bows happy? They are happy because they believe the world revolves around them and they never get tired of telling their stories. Question number 4. Why do bows always find an audience? They find an audience because of human kindness and because most people find it difficult to openly tell the bows that they are boring. Question number 5. What was a compact made by Lucas' acquaintance with the page boy to escape from bows? He had made an arrangement with the page boy to come and call him up in the pretext of a telephone call in case if he gets under the attack of any bows. Question number 6. What is the greatest asset of a bow? The simplicity, a self-satisfied nature, and a candid face. Now these are considered as the greatest assets of a bow. Question number 7. According to Lucas, who are seldom bows? Lucas says that crafty men or clever men and busy men are seldom bows. Question number 8. Who is a buttonholing bow? A buttonholing beau is someone who detains others in conversation much against their will. They will lean on to the listeners and will fix their eyes just 1 foot away and will start narrating funny stories which aren't really funny. Question number 9. What will happen if the weekly humorous paper ceases publication? E.V. Lucas opines that if the weekly magazine Punch, which publishes a lot of boring topics, ceases its publication, many boring people too will stop narrating their boring stories. Here comes the paragraph questions. Question number 1. How do bows thrive on the weakness and benignancy of human nature? So I've just given it as bullet points, which means you will have to expand each of these bullet points. So the first one is incurable weakness in human nature, because there is a tendency in human nature to be kind. And this incurable weakness is actually kindness. And it is because of this kindness that people are not openly telling these boring people that they are boring. Their talks are very much disinteresting and their talks are not really funny. But how many people can do this? Most of the people cannot do this, and instead people pretend. People fail to talk openly that they are bows, and instead they pretend as if they are listening and they listen to all these boring stories. So this is how bows thrive on the weakness and benignancy of human nature. Question number 2. Why does Lucas describe bows as happy men and world's axle trees? Bows often fail to realize that they are boring. We have discussed it in the very first paragraph itself. And they have this ego, which is considered as the foundation stone. So ego is actually an inflated superior feeling, because they feel that they are very important to this world. And that is why a boring person keeps talking about my car, my wife, my children, my house, my garden, and the list goes on. They always believe the whole world revolves around them, and because of that, they are always happy. They cannot think about another world without them, and they believe they are at the center of this world. And this is what makes them happy throughout their life. Next one includes question number 3, the style of E.V. Lucas in bows. So first of all, you have to mention that this is a humorous essay. And style actually means the way in which a writer brings out an idea. So this way can be through language, through the experiences that he might share. So this essay is actually rich with anecdotes, which means lots of stories and experiences are coming in between. His own personal experiences are also mentioned, and all these are described in a very interesting way. So from this we can analyze and understand that he was a keen observer, someone who observes things around him in a very, very keen way. Question number 4, types of bows discussed in the essay. So there are different types that he talks about. You will have to expand each of these points. The very first one includes happy bows who believes that they are at the center of the world. Then comes the buttonholing bow from whom you cannot escape. There is no chance of escaping. And we realize that these people actually detain others with conversation. The next one is a beau who starts with a funny story, but we know that story isn't really funny. The last one is the one who talks about a sense of humor, but ultimately we realize that he has got no sense of humor. So here comes the essay questions. First one, write an essay on E.V. Lucas as an observer of life in the light of bows. So you will have to include all the points which we have already discussed, that he defines what a bow is. He describes the qualities of the bow, the characteristics of the bow, and from these descriptions, we can clearly understand that he has made a very keen observation regarding these particular category of people, which is again bows. Question number 2. Write an essay on the language, style, and humor of E.V. Lucas based on this essay. So, first, when we talk about language, what kind of language has he employed? Now, we can see that it is not a very difficult kind of language. Still, for Indians, considering Indian English writing, this could be slightly complex. But still, again, if you look at the style, now, style includes the tone in which the writer speaks, the choice of words would be coming in between, how the sentences are structured, and ultimately we can see how a particular mood is created, how particular images are actually drawn. So it is because of the use of these words and structures that these mood or images are actually created. And finally, here comes humor, which is being used right from the beginning till the end. So there are lots of instances and experiences that he is narrating to bring this humor. So on an overall basis, you can see that this is an essay which is just very conversational in style, which means it is easy to understand. And more than that, a lot of witty expressions are used. So this is perfectly a humorous essay. So with this, we come to the end of this discussion. So thank you very much. Thank you for your patient listening. If there are any more queries or suggestions, please do not hesitate to connect with me. So thank you. Thank you all once again.